Hi, welcome to GCTV. I'm your host, DJ, and we're here with Jamie Clary today. She's the program coordinator for the Human Services Department here at Gaston College. Welcome, Jamie.
Thank you for having me, DJ.
So what is the Human Services Department?
I get that question a lot. Human Services is actually its own field. It has its own ethical board and its own professional guidelines, but the easiest way to explain it to a lot of people is that it's a combination of counseling, psychology, and social work.
Okay.
So a student who's interested in either of those fields, this would be, the Human Services degree would be the associate degree for them.
Okay. I hear you have this new program that's going to be coming out in the fall, so tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, I'm excited. We have a new Developmental Disabilities program, and students who enter into that program will actually be broadly trained in Human Services as well, but they get to specialize in developmental disabilities and intellectual disabilities specifically.
Right.
And they're trained to work with people of all different ages, so it's really an exciting program.
And then what type of degree would students receive?
They actually receive an associate degree in applied science with that designation. But the cool thing about our program is that students who are motivated can actually come in and double major in developmental disabilities and also in human services. And so with one, it's actually 3 additional classes, but with 1 additional semester they can obtain 2 associate degrees and also obtain 2 certificates within our program. So.
And you mentioned something about developmental disabilities. What is that exactly?
I get that question a lot also. In order for somebody to receive a diagnosis of a developmental disability, they do need to have deficits or impairments in 3 functional areas, such as communication, or mobility, or self-care. And if they have those impairments in 3 areas and it occurs before the age of 22, and if it's expected to continue for the lifetime, then they end up with a diagnosis of a developmental disability. But students sometimes still are kind of like, what does that mean? So actually what it means is they'll get a chance to work with people with Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, autism, intellectual disabilities. And so then students start to say, okay, I kind of have a feel of what you're talking about.
What is required for this program? What do people need to have?
In order to enter the program, we actually we have open enrollment, and so students are able to just go through the regular Gaston process for obtaining entry into the courses, and then they need to declare their major as human services, and then they can enter into the program.
Will people be able to obtain jobs once they get out?
Yes, that's the big question students always ask. The Occupational Outlook Handbook, the most recent, actually says that this job is going to expand exponentially. So there's going to be more jobs in human services than in most other fields. But before we even offered the degree, we did a survey of the community to see what jobs were needed, and more people needed jobs in developmental disabilities than even in substance abuse.
What type of person would be able to excel in this program?
What we find most often is that the person that does really well in the program really wants to help others. They really have a passion to give back, but more importantly is that they have a passion to empower other people. So they need to have the drive to help people make their own life choices and to support that and to remove the barriers, because it's not really an advice-giving field. It's more of a support field to help empower others.
And then if students want a bachelor's or master's, will it transfer to?
It does. We have informal agreements with colleges like Gardner-Webb and Pfeiffer and Lees-McRae, and usually what we find is that students will actually transfer like 2 by 2, so they'll have 2 years here with their associate's degree and they'll only need 2 years left to complete. And in fact, Gardner-Webb actually has a program here where you can obtain a bachelor's degree in human services and you can take the classes at Gaston College, so it's actually a cheaper way to get that degree, and you get that bachelor's in human services, which is really nice.
Oh yeah, it's always good to find ways of saving money,
yes,
especially in college.
Absolutely.
But who should people contact to learn more about developmental
That would
disabilities?
actually be me. So as the program coordinator, they can contact me. My office is actually on the Kimbrell campus in Belmont in room 223, or they can call me, 704-825-6266. Or email is always a good way, because as an instructor, we're often in class or in meetings, and so my email address is Clary, C-L-A-R-Y, .jamie, Jamie, @gaston.edu. So either of those methods, we'd just be glad to talk to folks and hopefully see them in the halls in the future.
Well, thanks for joining us today, Jamie, and thanks for joining us on GCTV. My name is DJ Petty. Have a good week.